Say hi, Micah. Say hello. Hey everyone, my name's Alexis. If you're new to my channel, I'm a young mom. I'm 20 years old. I make lots of videos about my baby, me, lifestyle, hauls, vlogs, just anything to do with my life. I make videos about that. In today's video, I'm going to be talking with you guys about my newborn essentials. So these are the things that when I look back when Micah was a newborn from 0 to 3 months, these are the things that I wrote down while he was still a newborn that I just felt like really helped me while he was a newborn. But these are things that made taking care of a newborn a lot easier for me personally. So I actually have it written on my phone. And I did this on October 26th when he was officially no longer a newborn. So one of the first items that I have on here is gripe water. Gripe water is awesome because it can help gas, colic, fussiness, and hiccups. And when the babies are really small, any type of gas really upsets their stomach and they can turn into demon babies. So this really helps to keep them happy, and if their tummy hurts, this honestly helps a lot. You can use this from 2 weeks on, and I really like the Mommy's Bliss brand, and I got this one at Target. The next thing that I loved while he was a newborn was this syringe or this bulb. I got this from the hospital, and this is the only one that I ever had like this, and I only used it when he was really small, or the bulb syringe, whatever you want to call it, because when he would spit up, you're so paranoid when they're new. So I would use this to help suction out the spit up and then like squirt it into a burp cloth or something. I hardly ever use this on his boogers because I didn't want to be sticking it in his nose and his mouth. But besides that, I didn't even use that anymore, so they're really gross. So that's off in the trash now. I seriously only kept it for this video, but it did come in handy when they're really small and you're just so paranoid and they spit up and they have a harder time getting it out and you're just afraid of them choking, although it rarely happens. I would just use that to suction it out. The next thing is pacifiers. These saved my life. I introduced pacifiers at 1 week. They're in an iPhone box, but specifically these are the ones that he liked as a newborn. These are the Soothy ones. I have lots of these still, and I kept trying to make him take more like normal pacifiers like Nooks. He did eventually take to these. He didn't like them as much, and I also tried Mams. He didn't really like these ever. And then finally I tried Tommee Tippies, and these have been the winner. These are great because they're orthodontic and they have different age groups versus the Soothies. They're a lifesaver. And when he was a newborn, he lived with the pacifier in his mouth. Like, you hardly saw him without the pacifier inside of his mouth. The next thing is a bouncer or a swing, all of those things. This is like a rocker. It's not like a bouncer, but it's a chair and it vibrates and it has toys on it. And we also have a swing, which I'll insert a photo of. And these were just great for when you have to get things done. It's really nice to let the babies nap in them when they're small, and it vibrates, so every time the vibration would turn off, he would wake up, or every time the music on his swing turned off, he would wake up. But these did come in handy, and they still do. They're really good to put the baby down and fold some laundry or do whatever you have to do. They're really good babysitters. That's what they're for, basically, for convenience of the parents, to have somewhere to put your baby down safely and them be content while you're gone. So I definitely recommend these. It was not a money waste for us. He loved his swing, he loved his bouncer, and he didn't love his swing till he was a little bit older. When he was like real new, like his first couple weeks, he was not a fan of the swing. The next thing kind of goes along with gripe water, and it is gas drops. These are Little Remedies gas drops. You can get this at Walmart, and these were also handy just for gas. The slightest amount of gas, they act like they're in so much pain, so you just give them the smallest amount of this, read the directions on the bottle, and it seriously does help because he would start farting shortly after. Blankets, blankets, and blankets. I feel like when they're newborns, you cannot have too many blankets because you're constantly wrapping them up because you're so paranoid. They're so little, you want to make sure that they're warm, and so you're wrapping them up constantly to make sure that they're okay. So fluffy blankets, these are nice. More blankets that aren't as fluffy, they're just like normal blankets. And receiving blankets. These are all great. They can be used for so many things. They can be used to wipe spit up because you're gonna kind of give up when they're new. You're just gonna wipe whatever with whatever you have right next to you. They're good to put down to change your baby on if you don't have something to change them on and you don't want them to like spit up or poop on someone's couch. If you're changing them on somebody's couch, just lay this down and then change them. They're good to keep your baby warm. They're good for lots of things. Just blankets. Velcro swaddles. These are the swaddles from Swaddle Me. And when he was real small, like his first couple weeks, I didn't really swaddle him. He didn't like it, but I persisted and eventually he started liking the swaddle, and I honestly think that it helped him sleep better at night. We're kind of on and off swaddling now. He's currently 6 months, but I definitely recommend these. It looks a little confusing, but they're super easy. You plop baby in, Velcro them, and it really helps with their reflex when they're small. When they're new, they have a jerky reflex. So he would go to sleep and he would jerk in his sleep and it would wake him up. So this kind of keeps them more constrained. So if they jerk, it doesn't wake them up as much, and so they stay asleep longer. Zipper sleepers are the best because when they're waking up so much during the night, it's really nice to just zip down their outfit, change their diaper, and zip it up. Because when they're new, Micah pooped every single time I fed him. So he'd wake up, I would nurse him, and then he'd poop. So then I'd have to change him. And when it's that dark and you're that exhausted, like, you don't want to have to be dealing with so many buttons. And they also have gowns where you just lift it up. But I really like this because I felt like it kept him warmer. And you can also layer with socks and a onesie underneath if you feel like it's too cold. But these were just very convenient. The Boppy I loved when he was small. We mostly use it now to help him sit up and play, but I did use it a lot in the beginning stages of breastfeeding because we do breastfeed, and it's just really helpful when they're real small. You have to be more engaged with them while they're nursing. It's not just like popping them on and okay, eat. You have to make sure that they're sucking. You have to make sure that you hear them eating. You have to help keep them awake because they're so sleepy when they're new. And where are you trying to go, dude? And here, play with this. And there's just a lot involved with it, and you're not used to holding a little 7-pound, 8-pound baby all the time, and your arms do get tired until you're used to it. So with this, you can just prop them up and feed them, and I actually have a memory where I propped them on this and fed him and did my makeup in front of my mirror, so I could like multitask, trying to do this mom thing as efficiently as possible. And so I definitely recommend the Boppy, and then you can do tummy time on it, help them sit up. We don't use it as much now, but it was something that I used a lot in the very beginning. It's baby bath, of course, and I love the one that we got because it's not like a big plastic baby bath that you set in the bathtub or by the sink. It's one that goes into the bathtub and you fill the whole bath up with water. And I personally like this more because I feel like he's warmer, he gets to play in the bath a little bit more, and I always think ahead. This bath will be really good for baby number 2. We can pop baby in there with big brother and they can like take a bath together while being supervised, of course. I'll put the one that he has on the screen. It's by Summer Infant, I believe. It has 3 different levels that they can recline in a sitting position. It's mesh, it's light, it's small, and it dries quickly. Now the next one isn't for everybody, but if you have a baby that's born with hair, baby brushes were an essential. And I kind of don't like the ones that came with this bag because his hair is so thick, it just doesn't get it as right. I'd have to use the comb and then the soft brush, but I really do enjoy the brush that I took from the hospital. And it's just this plastic brush, and it just does it so well, brushes his hair really well. And I just keep a tiny bottle of water in here to spritz his hair with and brush it to try and tame his hair. And it's something that I do on the daily. Baby rags, like washcloths and baby burp cloths, were definitely something that I used. I used the rags in the bath, and you can also use it to clean them off when he was a newborn, and it's not good to give them baths so often. I would just wet a rag, and every morning I would wipe him down under his neck, his hands, because they just get like gunk all in their rolls, and I would use that to help clean him off. It's really nice and soft for the bath. You can use it for spit up if you don't have burp cloths. And burp cloths are great for spit up. People told me like you wouldn't really use this, but I definitely did because he does spit up a lot. He's slowing down now, but he did spit up a lot, and he does spit up a lot. And it was also really great when I was first nursing. I would just set it on my lap because my letdown was very heavy, and it was so heavy where he couldn't drink it fast enough, so it would drip onto my leg. So with the burp cloth, I managed to keep it off of my clothing as much as possible while nursing him, and I would also have to put a bib on him. So bibs are a thing for newborns. They get drooly, and the milk that runs down their face, it just helps to protect their clothing so you're not constantly changing them. So those are things that I did use to try to help keep us a little more tidy. So right here is a glider or a rocker. My in-laws actually bought that for me, and they bought it when Micah was a couple weeks old, and it was the best thing because I was feeding him on the bed, I was feeding him anywhere, and my back was really hurting me. And it is something that you could easily not use, but it really helped with my back to use it. And I have lots of memories where I would just sit with him in the glider when he was small and like watch TV while he napped and just hold him in the chair and rock him. And it's just a really comfortable place to nurse. It's a little bit harder now since he's bigger and he keeps like kicking the armrest, but it is still very useful. Lotion is something that I've used from the beginning. I lotion him every morning and night and after every bath to help keep his skin nice and soft because babies can get dry, and when I wasn't like lotioning him as much, he did start to feel like a snake. Like his skin was so dry and I didn't like it. So I started lotioning him twice a day, and I still do to this day, and his skin, in my opinion, is very soft. My pump and my pumping bags was a lifesaver. I don't pump as much now, but as a newborn I really wanted to build my stash, and it's lasted me until now, and I need to start rebuilding it a little bit more, but I still have enough to get by. My milk stash in the freezer, I have the Medela pump, and I would pump every morning and evening, and I would get like at least 5 ounces or 10 ounces, 5 per boob or 5 total, and I would just store that away in the freezer. So if I had to go to class, they'd have bottles, or if my grandma watched him while Gio and I went out, they'd have a bottle of a breast milk for him to have. And so I pumped a lot in the beginning. I don't have a changing table, so I got a changing mat. This is really nice because when their poo is real runny when they're small, it can get everywhere. So it's really nice to have somewhere to put them on to change their diaper. So we usually change them on our bed. We would put this down just to prevent it from getting onto the bed. And you can just use this anywhere around the house. It's really lightweight and easy to bring around. A changing table is really nice for your back so you're not having to bend over, but I don't have one. So this is a nice substitute. His baby monitor, this is a video baby monitor. It's by Motorola, I believe. And I would like one where I could like move the camera from the baby monitor and be able to see him, but I don't. But this works just fine enough if he's in his crib or in something asleep and I need to go downstairs, but I don't want to wake him up and I still want to keep an eye on him. I just set up the baby monitor, and I can be downstairs cooking, hanging out, eating, and still watch him and hear him if he's crying. And it's just really nice if he's sleeping with a blanket. You know, you're not supposed to let babies sleep with a blanket, but with this you can watch. So if they pull it over, you can just come upstairs real fast and take it off. So those are our newborn essentials from 0 to 3 months. I hope this video helped you a little bit. Again, keep in mind that this isn't everybody's essentials. This is what I just remember helping me as a new mom with a newborn, because newborns are freaking hard. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Turn on your post notifications so you don't miss a video, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram at RaisingBabyDiaz, and on the end slate there will be my last video. Click that if you want to go watch it, and we'll see you all in our next video. Bye!